So we're back and we're going to talk some more about fractions. You need to make sure that you have your workbook and turn to page 575, and you can follow along as we work through the pages together. So when we talk about fractions, we can talk about fractions as part of a whole. So you can think of that as like a brownie, a pan of brownies that you cut into pieces. Or we can talk about fractions as part of a set. And that's kind of like crayons. If you have a box of crayons, we could group them by the red ones, the blue ones, the green ones, and so on. We're going to start out by talking about fractions as part of a whole. So let's look at example number 1. It says the background paper of Mrs. Dempsey's bulletin board is divided equally into 4 stripes. So you can see right here, whoops, is a picture of her bulletin board. What fraction of the bulletin board is green? Okay, so it says use a model. We've got our model right here. They already drew us a picture. The bulletin board represents one whole. So there is one bulletin board, okay? It's divided into 4 equal parts, which we call fourths, okay? So if we decide on how to write the fraction, again, they're talking about fraction tiles. We don't have tiles, so we're just going to look at the picture. Okay, so here is my whole. That is one bulletin board. It's divided into fourths. Okay, how many of those fourths are green? 1. One of the fourths is green. Okay, so that's the part that I'm talking about. So that means my numerator will be 1. My denominator, just like when I talked about unit fractions, is still how many parts are there total? How many parts are there total? 4. So the fraction of the bulletin board that is green is 1/4. Okay? I get my numerator because there's 1 green part. I get my denominator because there's 4 parts total. Okay? So if we scroll down just a little bit, you can see the numerator tells the number of parts being represented. 1 green part, numerator is 1. The denominator tells the number of equal parts. I have 4 parts, my denominator is 4. So 1/4 or 1/4 of the bulletin board is green. All right, do you see how we figured that out? Let's practice some more. Go ahead and turn the page. All right, and now we're going to talk about the fact that not all fractions are unit fractions, okay? Remember, a unit fraction is just one part, but sometimes we're talking about more than just one part of the fraction. So let's look at some of those. What fraction of the flag is red? Well, first of all, let's decide how many parts is the flag divided into? 1, 2, 3. So that means my denominator is going to be 3 because that's the total number of parts. How many of those parts are red? 1, 2. So that means my numerator is going to be 2 because 2 of the parts are red, okay? So I read that fraction as 2/3, okay? So 2/3 or 2/3 of the flag is red. Why isn't 2/3 considered a unit fraction? Right, a unit fraction is only one part of the whole. How many parts of the whole is this? 2. So if your numerator is not a 1, it's not a unit fraction, okay? So let's practice identifying some more fractions. Let's say I have a circle cut into 4 parts, and I shade 3 of those parts. What fraction of that circle is shaded? All right, well, I know that I have 4 parts total. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my denominator is going to be 4. How many of those parts are shaded? 1, 2, 3. So the fraction of this circle that is shaded is 3/4. Let's try another one. Okay. What fraction of this shape is shaded? See if you can figure it out without me. Try to figure it out. Did you say 2/3? Let's see. I have 3 parts total. So I know my denominator will be 3. How many parts are shaded? 2. So what is my fraction? 2/3. Good. Let's try one more before you move on to practicing on your own. All right, I divided this rectangle equally into 6 parts. What fraction of this rectangle is shaded? What do you think? There are 6 parts total. There are 4 parts shaded. So that means 4/6 of that rectangle is shaded. 4/6 was our fraction. Okay, hopefully you feel like, man, I'm getting this. You're going to move to the part below and practice in your workbook a little bit.